something I kind of want to do for a while now. Figured I'd put it on YouTube. I was in high school, and it's funny, as a teenager, you don't really think of religion and shit like that. But I had a teacher once ask me, or made a school project, is pick a good question and find out the answer for it. I figure, oh, that's a good question. What's a good question? How about the main question for everything? Why we're here? What is the reason for it all? Kind of like a religious thing. I wasn't really into God or anything. I was just kind of a bit of an atheist in the beginning. So I worked on it. It's kind of something I had started thinking of before that. Why is everything the way it is? And the way I view it, the way I see it, just it's kind of funny. The way it ends up is that everyone is a god, and that our God makes up everything that we see. That's kind of funny. I'll kind of start from the beginning. Imagine the Big Bang is like conception. The moment that the sperm fertilizes the eggs, or the egg, sorry, and gives it life, or the first heartbeat. I'm not sure when it would be. I'm not a rocket scientist or anything, or a biologist. Um, but as it grows and as it develops, light. It sees light through the stomach sometimes, through its mother's womb. Uh, so in its universe, in its soul, there's light. And there's planets, there's thoughts, there's things forming, expanding out of this big bang, filling the void of his imagination in his mind. And then he's born. The creation could be what could have been 7 days here, could have been a matter of seconds for him, for God. And everything he's seen and learnt as a kid, as a child, it was reflected, magnified into our world. He sees a monster, or what he thinks is a monster, a giant dog. All of a sudden there's dinosaurs on our planet that roam the earth, 60 feet tall. You know, when you're a kid, you imagine these things. Well, imagine this now if God was that kid, and imagine these things. So in his universe, which is our universe, could be his soul, we see these things. And we hear about them. They're in our past, our history. And as God grew older, he could have been, let's say, middle school. It could have been a giant fight between him and another kid over some certain differences. That could have been our wars. Something so simple could have been magnified into our universe as that, because it really affected who he was as a person. And so you bring it to this age, and the reason I'm telling you all that kind of stuff is you really kind of get a picture, if you look at our world, the main influence of who our God is. Because we are his thoughts, we are his inner emotions. Everything that happens in our world and our universe is just a reflection of what he feels inside. We are a part of his soul. And in that part, we can kind of control our destiny by influence, but at the same time, what he deals with day to day directly influences us here in this world. And if you really want to go crazy with it, everyone in this world is also a god with their own soul, their own universe that they can interact with in their dreams, which is, if you've ever had a crazy dream, well, if you kind of read some of the stuff in the Bible or hear some of the biblical stories, it makes you wonder. Have you ever flown? Have you ever walked on water? Have you ever parted the waters with your hands? I could do that in my dream, if I ever thought of it. But it's just, it's what it is. You could think that the God is kind of a bit of a dreamer. And we're part of that. And if you think about it, everything is infinite that way. I'm a god of my world. The people in that world make up what I am, who I am, from my influences and experiences. And then the people in my world also are gods of their own world. It never stops, it never ends. But the question is now, there's a lot of questions, and I kind of need help with this from you guys. It's like, what are just reflections of what God knows? Like, let's say major armies or battles, global warming. Is global warming happening in his world, or is it just getting hotter where he's living? You know, is it summertime there? I don't know. I'd like to find out if this is the real deal, if this is the new religion, what that time influence is. Of course, when you're a kid, time just flies, which is kind of like how the Big Bang just flew by for us, because you don't really come to existence until it really matters, right? You don't think about anything until someone asks you a question about where we are, how did we get here. That's when you stop to think about it. And I think God right now is probably using this metaphor. Looking at the world today, I would say he's probably 25, 26. You know, he's gotten out of high school, probably in college. Seems to be the thing right now, the main influence. Seems like he's English speaking from the majority of the world. But you know, who's to say? You never know. He could be speaking some completely different language, and these are just languages that our world is made up by being here to make it work. But I just thought I'd throw it out there. I hope you guys kind of can take it, and if you want to kind of brainstorm with me a bit on it, that'd be great, because right now I know there's only one other person that thought this way too, and I played a video game with him once, and definitely haven't met him in a while. So yeah, if you guys want to help me out, kind of create this idea, I think it could be something big. It could kind of accept everyone for who they are, and it kind of would show everyone that hell is really what you make of your life as you're living it. Because if you die, I believe that the world that you've made is where you'll end up. But yeah, that's all I got for now. So hopefully you guys give me some good feedback. I want to hear something. Let me know. Thanks.